So last night was the debut of Idris Elba on The Office.
Yeah.
The new boss, Michael's new nemesis.
Yeah, really straightforward, not in for the shenanigans at all.
Which I think the show kind of needs, you know.
Yeah.
A good foil for Michael.
Right.
So what do you think of it overall?
I thought, I was really wondering how Idris Elba was going to do a comedy, because up until this point, we've only ever seen him in a drama. And he was great, actually. I mean, I know he played the straight man, so it wasn't like he really had to do any pratfalls or anything. But, you know, he had to set up all of the humor, and I think he did a great job with that. The thing is, it turned out he's not just a foil for Michael, but also a little bit for Jim, because Jim made a awful first impression on the new boss. And so now Jim has to figure out, you know, how's he going to turn it around to keep the job. But big shocker at the end of the episode.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Office yet. Michael Scott quit. After 15 years at Dunder Mifflin.
Of course, we know that's not going to stick.
I'm stunned that he made it 15 years, frankly.
Well, yeah. But it's not going to stick. I think it's just something that, you know, the next episode's called 2 Weeks Notice, and where he just goofs off because he, you know, he has no reason to not to goof off.
Well, one of the subplots from last night's episode, which I thought was hilarious, was Kelly and Angela both have a thing for the new hot boss, and so they're both trying to go after him. And I think as that plays out, that's probably going to be really funny.
Yeah, it should be funny. So that might be something to keep me going. I don't know. I've been kind of down on The Office lately.
I'm not going to lie. Those first couple episodes before last week were just not good.
I really wasn't even a fan of the Willy Wonka one.
You didn't like the Willy Wonka one?
No, just like the whole last part of it was just like hard to watch, and it was like, okay, you know, where he's blaming Dwight, and Dwight wasn't taking the blame, and it was just like, okay, I get it. It's like being force-fed, you know, comedy when it's not really.
They
funny.
they have hit a slump, but I think they'll come back strong.
Well, I have faith in them. Unlike, you know, certain people that do shows that rhymes with zeros.
What show could you possibly be talking about? It's such a secret.
Yes, it is.
Well, what else have we got?
We got news. We'll start with let's start with the good news. You put the bad news on the front, but let's back in the bad news.
Yeah, we'll end with that.
Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh, the Marvel comic, has started putting things together a little bit. We're in like some early casting rumors.
They've started testing for Thors.
Yes.
Kevin McKidd from now from Grey's Anatomy, but you know, from Rome, from some other movies. I think Maid of Honor he was in, but his name has been thrown out there as like the leading contender to play Thor. I think that would be brilliant casting. He'd be great for that part. But some other people went in to test.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns. We'll blog about that later. There's just like a lot of, you know, news.
But one of the ones that I think also would be great, I believe his name is Alexander Skarsgård. He is from True Blood on HBO.
He's Stellan's son.
I'm not sure. We'll have to check into that. But he's on True Blood on HBO. He plays sort of the head vampire in that little region of town. He's the blonde one, in case you watched that show. I think he also could make a really good Thor. And if, just in case, the producers happen to just stumble across our show, I'm going to throw a name out there that I think they should look at.
You better not say Triple H.
I was going to say Triple H. I think WWE superstar Triple H could also make a really good Thor.
We spend way too much time together.
Ah, that's true. We're going to have to find some new friends.
Yes.
What else we got?
Email me if you want to be friends. Don't go to my Facebook. That's bad. Dollhouse, which is really heating up.
Right.
Slow burn, but we're getting, you know.
Yeah.
We're about to meet Alpha.
Joss Whedon says tonight's episode is the one that's going to change everything.
Game changer.
And why don't you let everybody know who's playing Alpha?
Well, we talked about it a few weeks ago. It was the prospects that Alan Tudyk was going to play Alpha. We saw a picture of him as Alpha, so it's official now. Great actor. I'm curious to see how he's going to do a part with zero comedy.
I think he'll still be able to bring some comedy, because it's not just him, but it's Joss Whedon. You know, and he always works some comedy in there somewhere. So I still think he'll be able to find some comedy.
I was reading a story where they were asked Joss Whedon, why don't you have a lot of pop culture reference and humor in Dollhouse? And he said, this isn't a fun house. You know, it's a serious show. I'm not going to, you know, put things in there just to put them in there. So
right, just because people are expecting it from him. The thing about Joss Whedon, though, that I think I really enjoy about his work is that he does work with sort of the same company of people. So, you know, you get to see, you know, your favorites from all his other shows. They'll always pop up at some point. So, but I think a lot of people have been saying that they thought that Talmot Pennycutt's character, the FBI agent, was going to turn out to be Alpha, but I guess now they're putting that to rest.
Well, because the picture shows him and Alpha together. So.
Right. So if you're into Dollhouse, tonight is probably the...
Well, I think the other thing, too, people might not think about is they're aware of the FBI guy, and they're sending people, they're sending Victor to take care of him.
Exactly.
So he couldn't have been Alpha. Because they would have said, like, oh, that's Alpha, let's go get him. We know where he is.
Right, yeah.
So people don't watch enough television, apparently. So I'll let you take this one.
We're gonna end with the bad news.
Yes.
It's not something that not everybody's heard about. Of course, actress Natasha Richardson passed away this week. You know, I just wanted to take a minute and say a lot of people are, you know, saying about her work and what a great career she had, and I just wanted to say I got to see her. It was a TV production of when she was in the revival of Cabaret, which she won her Tony for, and she was fantastic. And she's also been in tons of other movies I love. So I just think it's a real loss for a caliber actress of her. And, you know, for her family, for her husband and her kids. She's, of course, married to Liam Neeson. So we just wanted to add our condolences.
Yes. Switching gears?
I guess so.
We'll just take a hard line here, so okay.
Yeah.
And now we're switching gears.
Okay.
We didn't really plan this out well. I'm very sorry for that. We'll go to Stump the Host. We'll make it like a low-key Stump the Host.
Okay.
Duplicity's coming out with Clive Owen. So we'll talk about another Clive Owen movie.
Clive Owen.
So since you love Clive Owen, Inside Man. Did you see Inside Man?
I did.
Okay. Who was originally set to direct Inside Man?
Was it Ridley Scott?
Nope. I'll give you one more.
Okay. Goodness. Before Spike Lee, somebody else was going to make it.
Yep. It makes sense. Sorry.
Was it Denzel Washington?
Nope. Ron Howard.
Really?
Yep.
I wouldn't have guessed, but he would have put a completely different take on it, I'm sure.
Be very Ransom-ish, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go.
Interesting question.
Sorry for the weird transition-y show today. We promise we'll work on transitions.
We'll do better next time. This one wasn't our strongest episode.
We'll hire a transitionist for next time. Check out our blog. It's inskateblog.blogspot.com. And check the show out next week.
Okay.
See ya.